Yeah, I think this will be good enough. Okay, anyways. Today, I want to explain a little bit about magic. You see right over here that this whole thing is just about magic, okay? So let's make it like simple as possible by me pointing using this very... like it's not like exactly like a ruler. Anyways, right over here is the part of the body that are basically like consuming mana, okay? When you eat or drink, it will basically be transferred to the tummy and it stores right over there. So the bigger the belly, the more mana the person has storage inside of their body. It's basically like their life force, but not exactly. It's just like how I understand how magic explained from fantasies, that mana are basically like life force, and if the person is poisoned, then they're basically not gonna be able to use mana or magic to basically like random other stuff. So let's just explain a little bit more about how to counter this by looking right over here. You can see that poison counters antidote, okay? Antidote basically counters poisoning, which makes it so that you can use your mana or magic again right over here. Now, just to explain it simply right now, right over here you can see the different form of mana that can be used, okay? So basically, to put it simply, liquid transform to gas, gas transform into... So gas turns into liquid, liquid turns to hard or solid, and solid turns to basically having the cycle, okay? So basically, as you can see right over here, there's liquid, solid, and gas. But what they're related to is basically the fourth stage of matter, okay? We got liquid, we got solid, we got gas, and we got electrons. What are electrons? I already googled it, and what it explains that since clouds are basically just gas, and to make a storm, it needs hail and ice crystal to collide to split the electrons, make the electrons came out of the two thing, which is hail and ice crystal. So that's how to make electrons. Now, to put it simply, in the body form, okay, right over here, you can see that there's wires. There's wires in your body. Yes, of course. There's wires that are connected to your arm and leg. These are basically your fingers and toes right over here. Yeah, I'm flexible. That's a cool thing, right? Alright, so come back to this whole thing, okay? When you wanted to basically use these, there's also like temperature that you can use to change the property of these four stages of matter. For example, when you're using hot on water, you can turn it into gas. So you can basically skip it right over here. As you can see right over here, that if you make it so that it's hot, it will turn into gas. But now that I think about it, that's... Hold on, I think I'm missing something. Hold on. I think... But also I cannot think. But anyways, back to the whole thing, okay? So basically, liquid turns into solid, turns into gas, but there's also a different form if you're using the temperature that's changing. It kind of looks like a penis, okay, but it's not a penis, okay? I'm just gonna explain it as simple as possible. Using hot and cold onto these different forms of matter basically makes it so that it's unique. The exception is that electrons doesn't work using temperature because, well, it's already like cold, so it doesn't follow the three stages of matter, okay? These are the four different matter. These are the three stages of matter that exist, okay? Using the hot and cold temperature on three different forms, there should be like different changes. For example, if liquid gets hot, it becomes gas. But if liquid is hardened or like cold, it turns into solid. And if solid is basically hot, it basically melts into liquid. And if solid gets cold, it stays cold. It's simple, okay? But basically, like right over here on stage 3, or basically like gas, if it's hot, it's hot, okay? But if it's cold, it's cold. It's basically, gas is basically just wind, okay? Just imagine wind, okay? If it's fast, if the gas is fast, then it's basically wind, okay? But if the air is hot, it's just hot air. If it's cold air. But also, liquid can also be flammable to basically make it so that you can make a fireball that can hit something and spread out the flame, because the flammable liquid mana just spreads all over, because that's how like liquid happen, okay? It hits something, it splash. But at the same time, there are also different properties which I probably forgot to mention about. For example, the different form of word here, it's kinda gonna be hard to explain, but basically what I'm going to explain right over here is that bam, it basically creates a wall. Now, the inspiration for basically the solid form of matter for the magic thing is that when the energy is flowing through the ground, if the surface that they are standing on or they are touching, okay, when they are touching something using the tippy toes or tippy fingertips, and they basically like flow energy or mana into the solid surface, they can basically control where the energy flows, and when they want it, kaboom, there's suddenly like a burst of solid replica of the wall. But these are only temporaries. You cannot multiply gold using these. These are basically like a replica version of what solid object they hit last time, okay? So you cannot duplicate it. Now, these are basically just like the simple example that I can give, but to make this video longer, I'm going to explain a different form of magic. Hold on. Alright, so basically to simplify the rest of the other variant of magic, I'm going to explain like what is missing basically from the magic system, okay? So basically, natural magic, okay? I just explained it to you. Natural magic is basically the 4 state of matter and temperature, okay? You can basically already know that because I just explained it. So after that, we have pure magic. These are basically the magic type that are used on elves, but basically their main point is that they have healing property and they can cure curses, okay? And then there's black magic or dark magic. Light, dark, natural, okay? Natural mana. You can see it right away. On dark magic, there's already a curse, and also, did I just put 2 different curses at the same time? Nah. I'm going to explain how basically like dark magic works. Dark magic have 2 different forms of curse, okay? Ritual and curse. Curse basically makes it so that direct contact with the user and another living being to be basically like cursed by using a mark, or basically like other stuff other than just being like I don't know, fucking slave. But at the same time, like right over here, ritual, okay? Ritual are more complicated. Basically they use like curse rituals that are used like blood, candles, sacrifices. That's how I basically explain. But there's also like another one. Okay, so basically like to simplify it, holy magic is basically a better version of pure magic or light magic, okay? The only difference is that light magic doesn't like counter fully dark magic. Some dark magic can usually not be reverted using light magic, so that's the reason why holy magic is basically a superior version of light magic, because they can at least like defeat the demons instead of like countering their advantages. So basically like, instead of like making it so that it's balanced for light and dark to fight each other, instead holy magic basically counters dark magic completely, instead of like just countering their advantages like light magic did. Dark magic just cannot beat back holy magic, because yeah. So yeah, that's basically every single thing that you need to know about magic. I just realized making the 7 sin video is probably gonna be harder than this, which is